It's February 3rd today, and last night it got down pretty cold in the single digits, and we're here in a local community. So here we are. We're at a camp here, a community. It's part of the Salt Lake area, and I'm talking with Sam. And we were hoping to talk to some other people, which we've done, but a lot of them, for understandable reasons, really don't want to go on camera, and I'll explain that a little bit later. Their human dignity's been pushed down as it is, and so we understand that. Anyway, Sam is going to tell us a little bit about why they are here and what's happened to them, and he's going to tell us about some of the veterans that are here and then some of the people that are just trying to survive. So, Sam, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming by and allowing me this opportunity to express how we all feel.
How did you actually end up here, and most of the people that are here? How did you know that it was here? What was it that made you come here instead of the shelter?
Well, this is a known area for homeless.
Oh.
And several years ago, I heard on the news that they had a problem with homeless people here. And that's how I knew the homeless actually set up camps here. So this was the first place that I came to when I became homeless.
How many people are in this area? And we were talking about on the other side over there too.
Just this area, including that side there.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lady that's right here. She's new. She doesn't know anything about how to survive in a situation like this. This is her first time being homeless. This guy right here, he's a veteran. I served with him in the military. We can go and look at those a little bit later. This is my camp right here. I kind of was expecting something like this to happen to me, so I kind of bought camping gear that would help me get through the situation, because my military experience taught me how to survive in situations, in extreme situations. So that's my camp. It's the basic, how do I want to put it? The reason for shelter is for staying out of the weather, keeping dry, and keeping out of the wind. That's the basics for shelter.
And you feel the military helped you do this, and yet there was a lady here that didn't have any clue, and you helped her to figure that out. So
exactly.
You've actually helped save lives.
I would like to think so, yes.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I think that's obvious. So work was hard to find, and some things happened to you, like have happened to other people. And...
Well, because of the economy, I lost my job.
Right.
Because the construction industry just went all downhill.
Right.
And the only thing that's keeping Salt Lake afloat right now is the major project that they're doing downtown called Downtown Rising.
Okay.
That's what's keeping Salt Lake afloat right now in the construction industry. So there are a lot of people who are in the construction industry that are homeless as well.
When you we were talking a little bit earlier about the homeless shelters and those situations opposed to coming out here. Could you speak to that a little bit as to why this is actually a better situation for you and for the people that are here?
Well, I've heard a lot of people talk about staying at the homeless shelters. The number one concern that I came up with was too many thefts.
Uh-huh.
Because when you go to a homeless shelter, there's no way for you to store your stuff unless you have money to buy a storage facility. You have to keep the stuff around you at all the time so that people do not steal it from you. That's the major concern. And then you've got just the type of people that stay in the homeless shelters.
Mm-hmm.
They're drug dealers, they're drug addicts, they're alcoholics, you name it. They need to get their fix, so they steal what they can to make the money so that they can buy their drugs and alcohol.
And how about the way the staff treat you? Isn't it a human dignity issue? At least out here, you're doing it on your own, and you're feeling like that you're accomplishing something.
Self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient, right.
You're more self-sufficient out here. You depend more on yourself than anybody else. And there is an organization, Volunteers of America, the homeless outreach program.
Okay.
They're the only ones that come around out here to help the homeless. I've gotten sleeping bags from them. I've got blankets. They give out clothing. They give out hygiene kits. They've given me personally a really nice first aid kit so that I can help the people out here just in case somebody gets hurt.
Mm. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we go over to this other camp over here? I'll follow you over, and maybe you could tell us again how many people you have around here approximately.
Okay, right here in this area, this immediate area, we've got 5.
Yeah, I have 5 here.
Yeah, that's including me.
Okay.
Okay, we've got this lady that's here. We're teaching her how to survive out here in the cold.
Okay.
And you can see that we got snow on the ground.
Yes, it's winter time. It's been getting down to close to 0 out here, and you guys are keeping warm merely with blankets and sleeping bags, and the way that you set up the tents.
Yeah. These 2 people are pretty new here. He's got the experience, like I said. He's a veteran, U.S. Army. We served together back in 1980 during the Iranian hostage crisis. She lost her job a few months ago. She wasn't married. She doesn't have any kids. But she's never been camping before. So she doesn't know what she's dealing with. She's scared. She doesn't know where to go.
How old is she, may I ask?
She's in her late 20s.
Late 20s. That's a tragedy. I have a daughter in her late 20s, and I can't imagine her having to be out here. I mean, despite the fact that you're doing such a great job helping these people out, still, it's just difficult.
It's not easy. It's very difficult. If you don't know what you're doing, then you could die of hypothermia out here.
Right.
Very easy, especially with the temperatures that we've had now. I don't know what the numbers are, but every year at least 1,000 people die in this country from hypothermia. And
the shelters are overflowing, but you wouldn't go there anyway.
The family portion of the shelters are overflowing.
Right.
The men's shelter it has vacancies, but because of the aforementioned problems that I've already talked about, men don't go there.
Right.
So, and one thing I haven't mentioned is you have to check in every day now. They've changed the policy, so you have to check in every day to get a bunk. And you have to carry everything you own on your back. Out here, the theft isn't as rampant as it is there.
Hmm.
So you just take a few precautions, and your stuff is fairly safe out here.
And you get to be a community. You start, like you were saying, you care for each other. It's actually almost like a family or a community.
It's a little more like a community. Max over here, he's been here the longest. He doesn't want us to take pictures of him, and I understand that.
Pardon me.
But I consider him the general of the place. And since I've been here second longest, I've taken the rank in a military standpoint.
Yeah.
Because I have the most experience on the survival end. My friend here, he has just as much experience as I do. As a matter of fact, he's taught me a lot of stuff about survival. So that's why we put the lady over here in this tent, because it's easier to keep warm. It's more stable, and we can build on it and make it a lot warmer than it is, and make her stay here is comfortable. And can I use the word dignifying?
I think that's just exactly the right thing to say.
As we could possibly make her, so that she feels comfortable here, and that's what I'm about. This is the first time I've been this destitute. Over here is a huge amphitheater that they built for the Olympics. They don't use anymore. And that's one of the problems with society and the government, is they spend millions and millions of dollars on building things, and then they abandon them. This country is not about the poor anymore. It's about the rich. The rich are the ones who are in power. That's not what the founding fathers wanted. The founding fathers wanted the average American to enter politics for a short amount of time, and they don't do that. You got these career politicians who made name in business and wanted to change laws so to benefit the rich. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm, like a lot of people, an independent. And being homeless, talking to the homeless people, it brought it home to the fact that they pass laws to benefit people who already have money to make more money. And they steal from the poor. It's kind of like the anti-Robin Hood syndrome. They steal from the poor so that the rich can line their pockets. And that's one of the reasons why the homeless, I don't have any other word for it, but hate today's government. They're trying to survive, and every time they try and get a leg up and start getting back on their feet, the government comes in and fines them, take their money away, and knocks them back off their feet.
I find it interesting that we're out here and there are geese flying around, there are nests, there are animals, beavers, they're all living here, but the government won't allow people to live here. So in other words, people aren't important. Animals, God gives this earth to the beings that live here to survive, and yet they don't want us to.
Mm-mm. The thing is they're going to take all this and they're going to what's the word? Improve it by putting buildings here, putting roads here. When all they're actually really doing is wasting money, and they're taking away valuable habitat for the geese that are over here. Ducks line this river. Ducks and geese are all over the place out here. You've got all kinds of wildlife. You've got whooping cranes over here. The other day, I seen a bald eagle flying overhead. They want to take the habitat away from these animals so that they can build buildings that make money.
And make people more homeless.
Yeah.
You're out here in nature, which is the last vestige of your survival, and they want to take that away from you, which is a God-given right.
Mm-hmm. Forcing, because people do, the people who are well off, who don't have a clue what it's like to be homeless, turn away from it because they don't want to see the pain in their eyes. They don't want to see the loss of dignity. But I'm telling you right now, if you do not lose your honor, you can always regain your dignity. One of the things that our founding fathers, when they wrote the Constitution and they debated over the Constitution, one of them said that this Constitution is for a moral people. Without morality, the Constitution is worthless. And look what has happened to this country. The morality of the country has dropped so far since World War II that we can no longer what's the word I'm searching for? Govern ourselves. The morality is pretty much gone.
Say hi. I want to thank you, and we'll work together some more on this. Hopefully we can make a little difference. Sometimes a lot of little things will make a big thing.
It takes a little stick to stir the pot.
A little stick to stir the pot. Thanks.
Well, thanks for coming out.
Unlike the other camp, this one is really makeshift. People here just trying to make homes in the reeds. This very tall grass, probably because it's warm and it provides a little shelter. And some of these places they just crawl right back in and then just make their bed right in there. This one had a tarp he could use, or she. So it gets pretty destitute out here. Well, let me make this abundantly clear. You don't do this for fun. This isn't camping out for fun. This is real survival. And sometimes you lose hope. I'll show you the inside of this. It's a makeshift shelter made out of anything they could find. Wood, branches, looks like some sheathing, and a little bed inside. Not much to it, but it might be warmer than sleeping out under the stars. So they have a dog to help protect them, which is a good thing, of course. I don't know if I should go up there, but I want to at least show you the tent. If the dog gets upset, we'll just deal with that. Hopefully he's tied up. That's a nice little doggy right there. So, you know, we've got a little camp right here, and looks like he might be loose, which is just great. Little lean-tos, small tents, nothing fancy, a few carts so they can bring stuff to their campsite, and another bike's back there. You can just barely see it. It's kind of bright yellow. So, well, they have a dog to protect them. That's probably a good thing. And I guess two couples live there in that. Well, here we are on I-35 heading into Dallas, and there's this construction that's going on here. As you can see, a lot of stimulus money is being put into this, or they might be constructing something here, some type of a building, I'm not sure. Quite a bit of money in this little area right here. And what I found here was another camp right by the road, and two gentlemen live here. Leon here, who has been here for about 8 years, and he's allowed me to just come in and take a couple of shots of what this looks like. They have 2 tents, and it's a nice site. They've kept it up pretty good. We won't get too close to their homes here because we want to make sure that they have their privacy. But they do have a little canvas up here to kind of give them a little privacy from the road. So Leon has agreed to talk to us for just a couple of minutes, and he's going to tell us his story. And Leon, I want to thank you for letting me come in here and do this. It's very kind of you to let me talk to you. You might have to speak up and move a little closer because the microphone on here isn't real good. But I'd like to ask you, you know, how long you've been here and what you did before you found yourself in this circumstance, and anything else you'd like to say.
Well, I've been out here, probably about 8 years, and I used to drive a truck, and I took a carpenter. I'm still looking for work, and that's mainly what I do every day. Is I go out and I try to find work, but there's no work available, it seems like, and I'm just trying to survive. That's about all I'm doing.
And how long did you say you've been here?
I've been out here about 8 years.
About 8 years, and you were telling me that you were in construction at one time, but
yeah,
but you haven't been able to find work because of the political situation, because of
political situation. It seems like there's other people that want to work a whole lot cheaper than what they want to pay me, but I'm just as good, if not better, in some of those people. But I don't mind. I'd work for a minimum wage. I like to find a job somewhere.
Do you have? I was here when your friend was visiting you a few minutes ago. So you have a friend that comes down and obviously brings you some things from time to time.
Yeah.
He seems like a very good friend. How long have you known him?
I've known him for about 10 years.
Okay. And your other friend that stays with you here, what's his background?
He's about the same way. And he hadn't never been no truck driver, but he's looking for work too. And he found him a little part-time job today, and so he went over to work on it today, and he might be back tonight, or maybe tomorrow before he gets back.
Do you ever have any problems with like city authorities or the police or anybody coming over here and saying you can't be here, or try to get you to move or anything like that?
Well, they came over and talked to us about if we seen anything being stolen from anywhere, but other than telling us to move, no, they haven't.
Well, that's very good of them, because you know the weather here is pretty good. I've been to some other places where it's been really cold, and you know that people have nowhere else to go, and they'll tell them to move, and yet they can't go into the shelters because either the shelters are full or they just can't get their stuff back and forth. So it makes it difficult. Well, Leon, I want to thank you, and hopefully this will give you a little bit of a voice so that you can kind of tell what's been going on, and I want to thank you for your time.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm glad people like you out here that will want to help the people like me out here, and I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, and God bless you. Okay.
God bless you too.
We're outside Denton, Texas, in a park woods here, and bikes, of course, are the main means of transportation. And I've called around. Nobody seems to be home right now, but this is obviously a camp where quite a few people live. Hopefully they're doing okay. It's pretty orderly, actually. They have firewood. I guess they let them stay warm here. Temperature's about 68 degrees, and I don't know how many people live here. I called out and nobody answered, but you can kind of see from the area that it's pretty remote, even though it's right next to a city. So Anyway, maybe I'll try to come back later and see if I can talk to somebody. And this is still in the same general area. There's a kind of a clearing spot here, and there's another one right there where obviously some people are living, and I'm going to try to make contact with them, see if they'll talk to me here. I'm doing a documentary on homeless folks and how they're handling this economic downturn, especially vets, what vets are doing. Apparently they're helping a lot of people. I'll be back again tomorrow if you want to talk. I don't mean to embarrass you. Alright, well, have a good night. So as you can see, it's sometimes difficult to talk to people. And they may not even be here. It's very possible that they're out trying to get some food, maybe some water, go take care of hygiene. It's really hard to say. But this is really remote, and I'm going to keep showing this to you so that you can kind of see. Even though it's next to a city, this is very dense in here. And they have quite a ways to go to get back in there. So the park is right over here. So they're not far from town where they can get some of the things they need, maybe some help from relief organizations, things like that. And like I was saying, here's the park right here. So they're just right in the cities generally, pretty much. So like I say, this is Denton, Texas, and we'll keep trying. One of those beautiful Texas sunsets. And I guess that's one benefit of being outside. You get to enjoy these. Down here they've had some cold weather this year, some ice for about a week or so. Right now, like I say, it's about 68 degrees, so a little more decent weather, and the people down here get to I guess live a little more comfortably even though they're outside.
Really good job. Lost it. I got sick. I'm a diabetic, and it kept going and going, and all my savings ran out. And like I said, I lost my truck, lost my motorcycle, lost my dog, and lost my apartment. Boom.
How did you find out that you could live outside like this? What made it so you could do that?
Well, I had no place to go.
How about a homeless shelter?
I didn't even know about this.
Okay.
I drove by this every day for 2-3 years.
Really?
Never even knew about it. And I was staying out by Dick Regional Hospital. And
outside or inside?
Outside.
Outside?
In the woods out there. And where they're putting in the new railway, they kind of got close to my camp area. And, one morning I'm fully, you can't see me. Next morning it's like there's no more trees left. I can see my tent and everything. So talked to somebody, and they told me, well, why don't you try, over here by Mac Park. And that's what I did. And that's how I found out about Salvation Army. And next thing you know, I'm here.
What's it like being outside here? What is it, especially for getting food and hygiene and things like that? How do you take care of all that?
Denton, as far as food goes, you got the shelter, you got St. Andrews, and you got Shepherd's Hand. ICC. Well, as far as food.
Well, yeah, but they throw shelter in for.
Yeah, and they as far as shelter, the way the Salvation Army goes is you got 5 days. If you're working, they'll let you stay longer. But if you're not working, or like me, you can't work, after 5 days, you have to go ask for an extension, and that's pretty much.
So you find yourself here because this is just. Well, what about when it gets cold? How do you stay warm?
Well, I got lucky.
You guys dropped down below zero here about 2-3 weeks ago.
They had ICC. The shelter was open weather nights, and I got lucky. I went to the hospital and things didn't work out, and they ended up putting me in a hotel. Some friends of mine.
I mean, we all kind of all had, lives before all this happened, and then I guess really, I mean, like I said, mine was, I think it was my God's man, taking for granted what all I had at the time.
Well, that's really impressive that you look at it that way. And do you see yourself pulling yourself out of this pretty soon, or what do you?
I'm trying to advocate for all the homeless people.
Oh, good.
Stuff like that, helping. There's Miss Betty is she works for the ICC. She's like a liaison, but she's trying to open up a shelter, but she don't have nobody to help her financially back. So one of the things I'm trying to do is hopefully find somebody out there that might help her financially back and open a shelter. Because see, she don't believe, like when she heard that Salvation Army wouldn't take pregnant women, that threw her off.
Now, why would that be? That would seem like that'd be
a liability.
So where's she supposed to go?
Well, that's the thing.
Don't really care.
Yeah, because, you know, dude, I mean, if anybody should get first top treatment, it should be a pregnant person.
Oh, absolutely.
Or like the elderly people. Or
Oh, he points at you, Russ.
And that was,
Well, Andrew, what brought you here? I mean,
Mine,
if you don't mind discussing
It's a lot
that.
of my own doing, really. You know, I'm like 19, I've been partying. I was in the house, I was doing telemarketing jobs.
Okay.
I was doing that for about a year, just partying all the time, not really saving any money. And it came down to it, a couple of people that I was staying with were supposed to pay me rent. Instead, moved out, left me alone with the bill, lost my job, and was one paycheck away from being on the street. And I realized what that meant. You know, I didn't have any savings, didn't have any way to pay the bills, so I was out.
Any people who have carpets, walls, any stuff like that, enjoy it, because at any minute it could all be gone.
You know, the people you see on the streets, the homeless people, don't just assume that's a lazy deadbeat or alcoholic, someone that just can't function in regular life, because it really can't happen to anybody. I mean, you can lose your job, you can be laid off, it does happen. No matter how much you make a year, no matter how secure you are in your family, it can happen to anybody. And you can be 1-2 paychecks away. You know, if you don't have your savings, you're out here, and you know, you'll learn what it's like.
This takes guts on your part.
Right.
Well, thank
All
you
right.
very, very much, Steve.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. And Andrew, you get yourself out there. Okay? You got some good guys here that are.
yeah,
I'm really impressed with the
shared a lot of their
community.
wisdom with
Every
me.
one of these things, I got to tell you, when I was up there, I'll stand over here and tell you this, and there's probably some truth to this. I'm over there with Leon the other day, and over by the railroad tracks there, and he says his friend is there bringing him some food and some bread, and his friend says, you got to be careful out there, you get your head knocked off by one of these guys. But you know, I'm not seeing that. Still around Denton. This is quite an extensive shelter here. Construction close by. I'm going to see if anybody's here. This is just a chance to give you a voice, that's all. It looks like you lost your dog here. No pressure. Well, have a good day. Well, as I mentioned, there are two parts of this. I just tried to talk to the gentleman that was, or whoever was living in that tent up there. And I have two considerations, obviously. The first is their privacy. You don't want to walk into somebody's home or near it without announcing yourself somehow. And so I try to abide by that. And the other thing, of course, is I'm not stupid. You know, some of these people will have mental problems, maybe criminal histories. I'm prepared for that, especially being out here alone. I'd have to be. But this is another fairly thick area, as you can see behind me. And there are supposedly some other people in here, so we're going to look around and see. And so we're here in Galveston, Texas, and we're speaking with this gentleman here who is on the street. He started a business of taking care of trees, and I'll let him tell his information here about what happened the last few years.
Here in Galveston, my name's Bo Garrison. I actually have a tree service and a historic restoration service here. And after the hurricane, we had a lot of work that came from all the damage. All the storm surge that came in, all the winds that came in, blew a lot of things over, ruined a lot of houses, and brought a lot of people in during a time that was kind of a tough economic time for everybody around here. And so when Ike hit, we had probably an influx of, I'd say, 6,000 to 7,000 workers that came in, many of whom did catch on with jobs, many didn't. Those who didn't, meandered about, and then as the work started to finish and everything dried up, there was no place left for them to go. They didn't have the funds to get anywhere. They didn't have the means, the opportunity to go to work and try to get themselves back home, and so many of them ended up here without a place to stay.
Yeah, here I am in Galveston, Texas, and I'm underneath a restaurant and a souvenir place here, a place where a lot of the homeless guys come to stay at night. Well, as most people know, Galveston is no stranger to tragedy. In 1901, the hurricane hit here, and many people lost their lives. The town was totally decimated. And behind me is the seawall that they built in 1903 to prevent that similar situation from happening again. It's probably not the most technically advanced, but it's served them well for over 100 years at this point. When Hurricane Ike came in, of course, it took out a lot of the homes inland, and that's basically what we're talking about now with the homeless, the people that came down here and then couldn't get work, or did have work and didn't get paid for it. The contractors ran off with the money. The city does have a Salvation Army and a soup kitchen, but the homeless usually stay in abandoned homes or out here on the beach by the seawall, as I was explaining a few minutes ago. But they chase them out of here during the day, so there's really no one to talk to at this point. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. All right, well, as I mentioned, we're here in Galveston, Texas, and it's sunny today, and we talked a little bit about vets that are staying out here and others living basically on the land, and that's the case here on the beach. There are no structures here that they can build, but they basically just sleep out under the stars. And so we're going to talk to a gentleman and a couple of his friends. These gentlemen live right here by the seawall. That's Michael over there. He's the vet. He is with the 101st Airborne. Had some time over in Vietnam. And we're just going to sit down here and talk to them. This is where they live, right in these little sand dunes here by the wall. This is their protection from the elements. They don't even have a structure, as I was saying. Just basically where the water washes it out.
Hey, I'm an airborne ranger. I want to say one thing left to y'all. Welcome home, fellas, and make it home. And don't give up, whatever you do. Because when you come home, don't be prepared what happens to you when you come home. They might disrespect you. They might not. But welcome home, brothers.
Well, Michael's been out here, he says, for about 8 years, and he didn't have much to say. I guess I wouldn't either. Michael's son, and he's going to tell us a little more about their experience here. Go ahead, Michael. Thank you for talking.
I'm called Big Hoss, and the situation down here is we do what we do every day just to get what we need. Jesus Christ always makes sure we have what we need every day. I will tell you this, it's not very easy living on the streets. When we do live on the streets out here on the seawall, we run 61st and Seawall Boulevard. We love it. I really don't like doing it. I want a job, but I can't get one. Nobody seems to want to hire no one, but that's okay. You know what we're doing? We run out here, we take care of each other. We always are watching each other's six. That means I'm watching your back every day.
How do you guys sleep out here? Do you sleep right out on the sand?
We
or?
sleep anywhere we can lay down. Hey, it's liable to be in an elevator. It's liable to be on the seat. During the summer, we sleep in the lifeguard stands.
Lifeguard stands.
Yeah, then to keep out the rain.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about any other kind of shelter? Do you ever have to do a makeshift shelter?
Sometimes we have to sleep in porta potties.
Wow. Do you ever construct anything, or a tent or
no? Because
blankets?
there ain't no camping in Galveston.
Ah, so they don't let you camp out. So when you sleep out here, you just got to kind of hide then.
We're by our own. But anyway, yeah, I like to party. I like to have fun. But there's a small smidgen of harassment and taking care of business.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're harassing us, and they're ACLU is on them now. They're harassing the homeless people here in Galveston, Texas.
Do you guys, when you do sleep on the beach, if you find that to be a necessity,
you go to jail.
Well, do you have like a watch that warns you if somebody's coming or anything?
No,
like
they're
that?
gonna run up on you.
Really?
Yeah, and they love me. Some youngsters run up on you with some bats. Start whacking you in the head. That's what's wrong with Mikey now. The one he's talking to.
He was hit in the head by a bat. By who did that?
Some kid.
Some kid. While you were sleeping.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of danger in being out here.
Yes, sir.
All right. Joseph, I want to thank you for taking this time. Okay.
Not a problem, Dad.
Right. You take care.
What's your name?
Roy.
Roy.
Yes.
Glad to meet
You
Roy.
take care, Joseph.
Hey, but I'll tell Mikey this.
So, pretty Galveston weather today, and there are people that have to enjoy it 24 hours a day outside.
My name is Douglas Ketchens, and I'm a homeless vet. I've been on the street for about maybe 10 or 15 years, and I've been having my ups and downs, and I've been doing a newspaper. I've been doing a little part-time work, like such as doing flyers, which ain't really much to pay no rent, but it's enough just to get you by, get you a little few things that you need. But other than that, I'm just making it day to day with the little money that I have, because it's kind of hard to stay in places where you're paying $10 or $50 or $60 or $70 a week. So I'm just, just taking advantage of a little part-time job that I have selling newspaper. It kind of helps me out, kind of take care of little responsibilities.
Where do you stay, Douglas, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, right now I stay in the third ward.
In the where?
In the third ward.
Okay.
In the third ward, and I got a little camp spot underneath the bridge, and
well, how about family, friends? Where are they located?
Family, friends. I got family in Louisiana. Last time I seen was 1997. I feel as though I can't intrude on them. They got their responsibility, and my responsibility can't compete to theirs. So that's why I'm on my own. Yeah.
Well, Douglas, I want to thank you. I don't want to keep you from doing your work because you're out here trying to make your own living, but thank you for taking the time to talk to us,
well,
okay?
I appreciate talking to you. That's the way it is, but I'm still God's way. I'm still surviving.
Well, I appreciate that. You mind if I take my picture with you?
Sure.
I'd just like to see us both together here.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, see, we're right here together, and kind of in the dark because the way that the camera works, but I think it works out pretty well, okay?
I got you.
All right, Douglas, hey, thanks for everything, all right?
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll see you later.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Appreciate talking to you.
Well, I'm not far from where I was just talking with Douglas and Robert, and there's this wooded area here, and we're going to go in and take a look. We've been walking back through here, and it looks like we found a camp already. Anybody home? Hello? Anybody home? Obviously somebody is camping out here, and they're not here right now. At least I don't see them, but we're going to look around and see if we can find them. One of the things that I look for, and it's just human nature, is that try to find paths or easy ways in and out. These people are having enough trouble. They don't want to have to go stumbling through really, really heavy brush, even though they want to be in it. And so I found this path here, and we're going to take it back a little ways. That's not far from where that other tent was that I found a few minutes ago. Had to get a hat on because there are ticks in the area, so try to button up a little bit. So we've been walking through here for a few minutes. It looks like I found something up here. I'm going to call out here in just a minute. Hello, is anybody home? We're about 300 yards into the woods. And anybody home? Trying to announce myself so I don't surprise anybody. This is a fairly big camp, actually. And it's funny, I've almost got a sixth sense for these things. Or maybe it's just that there are just so many of them. And that's certainly a possibility, too. Anybody home? I'd love to talk to these people while we're here. We got a big king-size bed here. You can see that. Large ground cloth. Quite a bit of trash here, but as I pointed out before, these people will use these things for their benefit. They'll always find something they can use. Somebody's made a very small shelter there. They still have their socks in there. It looks like it's some type of a glass box, and they've put material on the top to try to keep in the heat. Now they've made like a clothesline here, I'm sure, to dry things as they got wet. Yeah, these guys are definitely still here. Nowhere around right now, though. Even have a trash can there, which is a good thing. Try to keep their sight a little bit better. Well, from the looks of things here, I'd say there are only probably one or two guys. It looks like most everybody else has been chased out. And from the looks of some of the belongings that are left behind, somebody's rifled through those, probably looking for something that they could use. But definitely one or two people are in this area. So we'll head back out. Right across the street here from me is some woods that I'm going to go into here in a minute. But I did find this here where there's someone living underneath this freeway overpass. And man, it's so noisy here, I can't imagine trying to rest in this. It seems impossible to me. But here it is. I would surmise that that's the bed up there. Could you imagine falling out of bed from up there onto this? Well, I'm in this woods, probably about 300 yards, 400 yards off the freeway, and there are people back here. Oh, is anybody home? Anybody home?
I understand that at least one of the people that's back here is a guy by the name of Frank. Obviously not here right at the moment. I can't imagine living like this. You know, I would hope that I'd have a little respect and at least keep my area clean. But I'm not at this point, so I don't know really what they're thinking. So, you know, all I can do is just call it the way I see it. Anybody home? It looks like to me is that when vets are around, at least things stay a little neater. I guess they're training in you know, how to make sure that you have good hygiene and clean camp. Don't leave anything behind. I noticed that, and when they aren't around, it's pretty bad. I can't tell you what some of these tents and some of these mattresses and things smell like. It's putrid. You wonder how human beings can live like that. Obviously, they don't live very well. Probably get sick quite a bit. Very well taken care of. And it's kind of in a clearing. And there we are. Hello, is anybody home? Hello? Hi, how you doing? Hey, I'm a journalist. I'm not a cop. I'm just wondering if I can come in and talk to you folks. I'm a vet myself, and a lot of my friends are in this kind of a situation. And I'm just trying to see how you guys are surviving. Am I welcome to come in? Is that what you said? Thank you. Turn this off for now.
Are you going to do a story about this?
Yeah, we're showing how folks would rather be here, you know, and in nature doing the best they can than going into homeless shelters and being treated, you know, just as a number or whatever. So, you know, this is pretty elaborate here. It's about a quarter mile off the path, and somebody else is coming in. So we'll turn this off until we talk to them. Okay, the two gentlemen there, they didn't want me to show their faces, but one of them's a vet. His name, we'll refrain from that. And, you know, they've had a difficult time. And the vet there was a Marine Corps guy who's out here, and he says that he feels like the government let him go. So, you know, that's a major problem that we see, that these folks do their duty. And I'm not saying that they deserve the world. I'm not saying that. But they need to not be forgotten as well. As I've said in many of my other videos, family should take care of each other. You know, our loved ones, our spouses, our families, the people that really matter should be taking care of us. Especially the ones that have been out there and done what their country's asked them to do, not to be left behind. The injuries they've received, the difficulties they've gone through, affect them, and we can't just throw them away. All right, we're in another part of this woods where there have been several camps, and I wanted you to see that there's some folks here, and they live right here in this small area. They have a little area where they have a campfire, and this gentleman here is Todd. He doesn't object to being in the show here because he's done a little bit of work on documentaries before. Okay, this is Todd, and he's agreed to tell us a few words about his circumstances and how he feels about this. So thank you very much, Todd, for being willing to talk to us.
Thank you very much. I'm
originally from Wisconsin, but I moved to Utah, and I got laid off from my job there. And my wife and I moved to Texas because we heard the economy was better. I've had a few odd jobs, and then I ended up going to day labor, and day labor is so hit and miss. We lost our apartment, and we split up after 8 years because financial. You know, she could get into a shelter, I couldn't. So I heard about here, and that the economy was great here. There's a lot of work. Good.
You
shelters.
mean Texas?
Yeah, no, specifically.
The specific case here, okay.
Yeah. And nothing. I couldn't get into a shelter. I tried and ended up going and writing on a piece of cardboard. I have 3 years college. I have 3 years trade school. I work hard. And I'm conscientious, drug-free, and it's just horrible. You know, it's nobody can imagine unless they had to do it themselves. We live in complete hostility. Everybody wants to steal from you. Everybody wants to hurt you. It's just amazing, the type of thing you have to live with day to day. And just trying to stay alive. It's sure not easy. And that's pretty much all I got to say.
I'm still in Austin at a church here, as you can see across the street. And this is an intersection at Montopolis and Riverside, and there's a very large camp here. And I thought I'd take you in here to see it. Maybe we'll talk to a few people if we can. Interesting area. With Mr. Waco here, that's what he goes by. He's going to show me around a little bit. Coming out towards the road. Have a portable outhouse there. That's something you don't see very much. A lot of trash. It's hard to haul it out when you don't have any help. As usual, though, I won't invade any further than this. So we'll just go ahead and back out and keep looking. As I said, these folks here, man, it's hard to get them to talk even if they're here. I get the distinct impression that one guy said he's been out here for 10 years. You know, you get pretty reclusive after a while, and that might be part of the problem.
Hi, my name is Saleha Leal, and I was born in Austin, Texas, and my mom and dad were very abusive, would be the way to put it, and I was put into Child Protective Services, which is the government that takes in charge of the kids. Well, at 17 and a half, they put me back with my mom, and she kicked me out, and I've been homeless now for about 3 years. It's just been really hard to worry about food and clothes, and when they don't got many women's shelters, they're mostly men, and so it makes it hard for women to go somewhere and be at. So I just been camping in woods because I don't want to be around all the drama downtown either. And what I would love to do is, I still haven't finished my GED because my mom kicked me out, or my high school diploma, so it's really hard for me to finish high school. But what I would like to do one day is to, even with my health problems, I would love to go be a motocross racer. That's my dream. But I have a disintegrative disc, I'm hearing impaired, and it's just really hard for me to make it with my health problems and to finish going to school. But that's what my dream is. The people are very hard because I believe that there's people that, you know, got themselves on the street themselves, but there's a lot of people who never asked to be on the streets either. And that's why they're very hostile, because they feel like nobody gives a care about them. And because of that, I believe that's why people get into the drugs and alcohol, is because they're so upset about nobody caring about them, and they have no friends, no family, no nothing. Like me, they start turning into drugs and alcohol. And I'm over here fighting to stay away from all that. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I've thought about it because...
It's an escape.
it's an escape from all the pain, and a lot of people don't know how much the pain is to have nobody. And that's why a lot of them is hostile, because, you know, they've learned where no one's going to care about me. They have all this anger built up. I would like to know that people know that CPS is very abusive and neglectful to their children. And there's a lot of, since I've been out on the streets, I've run into over 100 people I knew in CPS.
That's you there, and I just want to shake your hand and say thank you so much. Very few people are as courageous as you are. This looks like it's probably the girls' camp. Not bad. They're going out to see if they can get some money. They've done pretty much the same thing everybody else does. Put a tarp up over the tent to give it a little extra protection from the elements. And apparently they cook outside a little bit, as you can see there. And so we're just going to keep looking around. All right, well, I'm back in these woods back here east of Austin, and found a really large camp here. This one is run by a vet, a guy who was in Vietnam, and I'd like to show you around. Have a windbreak there, and have several tents here. They've made it very much like home, and have a little bridge here over into the main camp. American flag hanging as a welcome. This is up on the little brook there, and there's a tent up the trail on that side. And the guys are right there having a chat right now, and we're going to go up there and have a little discussion with them. American flag, as I said, greeting you. They've been here for a number of years, and we'll let them tell their story. YouTube.
He lives on the woods, man.
Yeah, I'm just going to pan around here so everybody can see what the area is like here, who we're with. And we're going to end up with this gentleman here. And I want to thank you for inviting us into your home. It's pretty much up to you if you want to tell us your name or not. And
Roger.
Well, Roger's invited us into his camp here, and he has several friends that he has helped settle here. And Roger, you said you were in Vietnam.
Yes, sir.
And what did you do in the service? What was your...
I was infantry, and I was a grunt in the Marine Corps.
You were in infantry in the Marine Corps.
One of Uncle Sam's misguided children.
All right.
Well, I don't take care of everybody, but I help people. I've been out here off and on for 10 years. And, you know, off and on, you know. Ain't been gone long, but I've been down here for quite a while, and I love it down here. And I do help people as much as I can. And, you know, I've taken a few people in I didn't even know they needed a place, you know, and an extra tent, so it's all good.
How many folks do you have in this area with you right here now?
Oh, wow, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another camp up here. There's about 5 people. About 10 people.
About 10 people.
Yeah.
Filter too.
Yeah, I counted them.
All righty. And you prefer to be out here. Can you tell us why you prefer to be out here rather than, say, you know...
Well, I was born in Kentucky and grew up in Illinois and lived out in the Rocky Mountains for quite a while, and I just love the outdoors. You know, I can get me a place. You know, I can afford a place, but I just like it here. So instead of paying people rent, I help my friends out. Give them, you know, with my money,
right,
you know, that I get from the VA. So, and I keep enough for me to get through the month, you know. I got plenty of food. I got everything I need. Afghanistan.
I want to introduce David. He just came up into Roger's camp, and he's agreed to tell us a few things. I want to thank you so much, David, for doing that.
You're welcome.
And it's your time.
I'm waiting on your questions.
Well, how long have you been out here, and why do you live here instead of in the city?
Peace and quiet. Bottom line.
And how long have you been doing this?
9 years.
9 years?
Yeah.
And do you have any military background?
Nope.
What was it that you did before you came out here, or maybe you're still doing it?
I could hit a golf ball through a keyhole.
So you were a golf pro?
Yep.
Or striving to be?
No, not striving.
You really were?
Yeah.
That's
but
pretty
I got
neat.
stupid.
I'm not sure I know what that means.
You get stupid. You want to race
Well,
motorcycles.
You race.
The back of the boat.
I wanted to race motorcycles too.
I see. And what happened? That kind of messed up your game, or?
The whole left arm, whole left side.
Whole left arm got run. So you were a golf pro, got on a motorcycle, and you were racing motorcycles? Is that what you were doing? Or?
Yeah.
And you
Team
had an
Honda.
accident? And I'm sorry?
Team Honda.
Team Honda. Wow. So you've got a real professional history.
Yeah.
How about family? Do you
Pretty
have
much educated too.
Educated. What's your education?
You could do a crossword in 15 minutes.
You messed me up now.
So you can do, you've been a golf pro for a number of years, and you got injured in a motorcycle accident, but you have some education too. You want to tell us about that? Because a lot of people think that, that folks out here aren't educated, but I ran into several hundred of them in Sacramento who live along the Sacramento River.
Yeah, college.
Yeah,
Professors.
college professors,
See, I don't have no
doctors.
education.
Yeah, doctors, lawyers, I mean.
I learned hands-on.
If you're asking me to polish my own pencil, I'm not going to.
It's not that. It's because I want people to know who you are.
But I'm damn good at what I do.
Okay, well that's good enough for us.
And I got 3 rules I live by. Don't lie, don't steal, and don't cheat.
Exactly.
And if
That's
my
a
friends
brotherhood.
need something, and I've got it, and if I don't give it to them, then I'm a worm.
We'll get
Do unto
that.
others as you would have them do to you, basically.
That's how you survive.
Golden rule.
Golden rule, yeah.
I read the Bible. I applied for 27 jobs within an 18-week span. And the first words out of their mouth was, if you can't speak Spanish, we can't use you.
There you go.
And I can
Does that
do the
get brought up
job
a
better
lot
than
too,
they
Roy?
can do.
Yeah, bilingual, man. You gotta be bilingual.
Roy, does that get brought up around here a lot? Or?
I'll tell you guys,
I mean,
it's been
we're
brought up a
being
lot.
truthfully.
You are. You brought it up a lot. A lot of people have complained about this. A lot of people have lost their jobs. One guy in particular was a guy who was a cook. He was a very good cook, and he was making $9 an hour. And they gave the job to an illegal alien for $6 an hour, and they fired him.
I've been homeless for 10 years, and I just turned 31, but I got my own particular situation that I'm embedded in as far as my own crisis that I've become into contact with and had to learn how to strategize and overcompromise to deal with the ordinary functions of life, But if I could tell anybody anything, I would tell them take strides from matter hand by hand. Focus before you be aware. That's it.
That's outstanding. That's actually profound.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that. And this is the reason why I wanted to come out here and tell this story, because I think you all have great things to say. There's a lot of good information here, a lot of life experiences, and obviously a lot of good philosophy. But we give more money overseas than we do to our own people. Would you say that's true, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So why do we do that? Why do we give more?
Yeah,
you could write an essay. You say you could write an essay on that. So why is it that we do that? Is it because it's great foreign policy to make sure we have friends overseas, but we forget about our people in our own backyard?
Power.
It's about power.
Yeah.
That's right.
Power play.
It's about power.
We'll help
It's
you. You
power
help
play that's
us.
power
And when
money.
we need help, there ain't no
Man,
help.
I got to ask you a question before you do it again.
That's all right. That's all right.
You ain't gonna call him SpongeBob, are you?
No, I'm going to ask a question.
Okay, that's Roy.
You're right.
Serious question.
That's Roy.
How are you actually going to use this?
My point is to show people, like I said before, that the government forgets their own folks. As we just brought out, They're so concerned about establishing foreign policy. We send millions and billions of dollars overseas, and yet we've got people here that we could be taking care of, number one. Number two, that there are vets that have been separated from their families, their friends. They've suffered injuries, some of them severely, and we forget about them. You know, they come back.
Typhoon this morning that hit Japan.
Yeah, they come back.
Are we going to spend $1 billion on Japan now?
Yeah, probably. But that's the point, you know.
Pissed me off, man.
So what I'm using this for is to show. I'm sorry to hear that. So here's the point, you know. I'm going to use this to show people that the folks that are out here aren't what they have in their minds, which is drunks, derelicts, drug addicts, that they're not good for anything. That's what most people think. They want to talk about cruise ships, you know, going to the casinos. They want about expending lots of money at restaurants, and that's what the media shows, is all the stuff that makes people spend money. You know, go out there, and then they forget that there are people that are having to live like this. Now, you can't help everybody, but you can't forget about it either.
Yeah, but we live better than most people.
Oh, I agree. Actually, you're very true.
We stand up balls to the wall.
Some people probably envy us, man.
Yeah.
If they pay off.
We don't let nobody go hungry.
Right.
And we.
And a lot of those people out there would.
Times now you got to run some asshole off.
Right, sure.
I hope you got that thing.
That's okay. That's on. It's
bleep.
Well,
bleep.
I didn't mean to say that. But
no, those words are okay. There are a couple that you can't use, but those are fine.
We take care of ourselves.
You take care of yourself.
That's the bottom line.
Right.
You know,
and you take care of each other.
Absolutely.
You know the definition of homeless?
And other people, they wouldn't even know. I help people.
How about that person that owns that $1 million home and he's got a big old loan and he pays on it every week? He's homeless because he don't own that home.
Don't want to own home.
We own our own homes. We should be, you know, not homeless. But then people work from week to week.
We've all got an agenda. And that agenda is?
Help each other out, man.
Absolutely.
Help each other
out. Something little. You know.
Well, guys, I want to thank you again for your time. I didn't want to take up too much. I just want to make sure that you know that I'm doing this because I want people to know your story.
I appreciate that.
It's important. So I hope you all have a good day.
You too.
Homeless camp.
Homeless
and
camp.
Be safe.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, Paul.
I appreciate that.
Well, you be watched when you leave.
I'm sure I am.
Devil's going to chew your pants like this.
Here we are.
Quit, knock it off.
Pick him up.
We got one dog here with us, and he's taking care of everybody. Anyway, these are my friends. I want you all to meet them, see us all together. And these are great guys.
Good luck, Paul.
Love you all.
Whatever you can do, God bless.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Paul.
That's all right.
No, he ain't got that.
We're pretty close. Take care, gentlemen.
Come on by,
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. They wanted me to show you this other little camp that's up here. They've done a really good job on making this a nice area. It's very clean. Everything's very clean. And Roger's responsible for most of this. See, they have their open pits, but they're well protected. Large tent there for a lot of folks, kind of like a living room. There's a little dog that protects everybody. He's bitten my shoe a few times, trying to make sure that he knows who's boss. And nice little bridges here. Gentlemen, take care. Thanks for everything.
God bless.
So I think that was pretty beneficial. And we're about 200 yards off the road. So interesting day. After talking to Roger and those guys, I came back along this area here, and as you saw a minute ago, walking up to this camp here, Several guys live here. They say they're in the process of actually putting this trash away, so it's going to look really nice once they get it done. And we're going to come around here and talk to this gentleman. He's agreed to do that for us. Looks like you're having some beans.
Oh, yeah.
And could you tell us your name, sir?
My name's James Bourgeois.
James. And how long have you been out here?
About 3 years.
About 3 years. And you're just getting ready, you think, to move up to a little better standard of things?
I've gotten on the list of the Fishes and Loaves program. And if you already have an income, and they do everything right there, believe it or not. They do your background check there. They do your fingerprint and everything. It's all right there. And then they told me that I didn't have any problem. I'll be number 11 on the list.
Great.
And that was yesterday around 3 o'clock. So I love the woods, man. I mean, I grew up in the woods of Mississippi and Louisiana. I mean, this is home, man. This is what I feel is home, but I'm getting ready to go on because my wife just passed away a couple years of bone cancer.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Right here where I sit, and I look up at the heavens thinking that I'm doing the right thing, and she's smiling at me because she knows I'm actually trying, and there's a lot of people looking.
We're here with a group of friends. They come down and visit Waco over here and his girlfriend Rhonda, or is it your wife, Waco? I'm sorry, which do you? Both. Okay, we'll go with that. And Rachel lives here as well. Mitch there and Tag come down here, like I say, and help these guys out. Both Tag and Mitch are veterans. They come down here to make sure that Waco is doing well. And we have a homeless dog here too. His name, or her name I should say, is Aries. Aries? Aries. Okay, yeah, Mitch says it's Aries, and they've had her here for about a couple of days.
No, it's been a lot more.
A lot longer than that?
No, just 2 days here.
No, she came here Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Alrighty. And I'm gonna come and get in the picture there. I'm gonna come on around.
Stand up. Let's everybody stand up.
Well, it won't get you to stand up because it's made for where you're sitting down there. So here we are, and I'm here with these guys. They've given me a lot of good leads, told me a lot of good stories, and I just want to thank you guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate everything you're doing. God bless you.
Bring your ass back here.
He said, bring my ass back here.
You know what?
I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and there are even homeless camped out here. Of course, this would get really hot in the summertime, and you have to make your home with rattlesnakes and scorpions. There are about 6 or 8 people in this area, I believe. Little area here to cook in, eat. So we find people everywhere, really, in the desert, in the mountains, and they're just trying to make it. I'm looking for some other people here right now. They're all out working. I guess I gotta hand it to them. Gotta hand it to them. Here's another camp here. Let's see if we can talk to anybody here. I don't know what they do when it does rain. Anybody home? Well, I'll abide by my rules. I won't go up any closer if they're not home, just like anybody else's. want to be secure in your possessions, what little you have. Okay, we're here with Kathy and Kelly in Tucson, Arizona, and Kelly is a Vietnam vet, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's happened here, and then I'd like Kathy to say a few things too. Here you go, Kelly.
I'm pretty much a cook or a construction worker, odd jobs, nothing really specific on anything that I do.
And you've been out here for some time.
I've been here in this particular desert for going on 5 months.
Okay. And you were saying earlier that it used to be, and if you repeat this, you used to see a particular type of person. Now you're seeing more families.
More families, more children, and what I can see coming from the government basically is that they're willing, if you have children, they're willing to help a woman and their children, but if she's married, then it cuts back on their benefits. So basically, to keep a family unit, they're all moving out into the desert so they can stay together rather than being split up.
And you're seeing that more and more.
More and more, yeah, especially within the last 2 years. We show them how to put together a campfire and put together meals. They get food from the food banks and stuff. We show them how to stretch that food out to make 2 or 3 meals out of one portion instead of just one meal. Sure. Show them how, give them a little bit of an inspect on the animals that live out here. When you get forced out here, it isn't just the tendency of trying to survive with water and food or help that other people can give you, but trying to survive with the other animals and the environment that you move into. Well, you have coyotes and javelinas, and there's all different kinds of squirrels and pack rats, like you said, snakes and lizards. It's their home, and we're invading it basically. But survival here is not easy. Especially here in Arizona.
Well, I appreciate that, Kelly. Let's let Kathy say a few words. You were talking about the fact that you saw a young woman out here trying to survive.
Yeah, the young women, or even some of the older women that have lived in homes all their lives, and through bad circumstances where their husbands get laid off, or they have medical emergencies where all their money's taken away, their homes are taken away. They haven't a clue how to cook over a campfire, how to prepare a campfire. John helped us out a lot when we first got to Arizona. I didn't know about the different woods. Some of the wood that you use in a campfire is poisonous, and you can't cook it. You have to use a certain type of wood out here. And had he not told me, I probably would not have known.
And then now you're sharing that information.
We share along the line. And last month I had an abundance of meat. So we cooked a big deal and invited whoever was within earshot. Word of mouth got around. We ended up having about 14 people come over that day, and fortunately we stretched it to where everybody got some. But that's just the way neighbors help neighbors out here.
Well, that's the thing. Each of you are contributing a little bit of what you know.
But it's really hard on the ones who don't know how to survive.
And you've been teaching them how to do that.
Yeah.
Do you all ever see yourselves getting, back to like where you're living like everybody else, or do you see the economy just going down so much now that there's no recovery?
Well, it's going to be a struggle because, I'm a retired bartender. I mean, I was a professional bartender, not just a fly-by-night.
Right.
And I'm too old, and I'm disabled. I can't do the work anymore. And Kelly's getting up an age where he can't be climbing them scaffoldings and stuff on the roofs anymore. So yeah, we're going to probably have to figure out something, but the economy's really bad.
Well, is there anything else you all would like to just say before, because I don't want to take up your whole day.
Just one more thing. I want everybody to know, veterans and all Americans, is we've been here before. We've done this before. We've been through harder times before, and we'll survive it. We'll get through it. All we have to do is all pull together, and it'll be fine. We'll come out of this just fine. Blaming it on one person isn't the way to go about it. Just pull together. We'll get through it.
You guys are fantastic. I want to thank both of you, and that was very emotional, Kelly. I can see that. You're wonderful people. And that's what I found out here. You know, there have been just wonderful, wonderful people, and, you know, I'd be happy and proud to call you all neighbors myself.
We'll get back.
Okay. You take care. Thanks, guys. One of the dangers of living out here, of course, is if you can't prepare adequately for storms, wind, or other people that are willing to destroy or rifle through your things. And I think that's what's happened here. They obviously have suffered a difficulty here and then just gave up, moved somewhere else. Still in Tucson, I found this place here. I don't know if there's anybody here, but we're going to check it out and see. There's one here, and there's one over here, right there, and probably somebody right over in here too. We're going to get out and see if they'll talk to me. Well, I've tried calling out again as usual. They're out working, so, you know, they do the best they can. Anybody home? I'm just a journalist doing a story, not the police. We'll go try another spot. Here's another one here. I understand these have kids. They have dogs there to protect the kids, which is a good idea. It looks like it's a makeshift shelter.